Alright, this is Joe Cola with DiscountJuicers.com, and today I have my favorite juicer in the world. It's the Omega VERT VRT330 juicer, and we're going to show you some more juicing with the Omega VERT juicer and how easy it is to use and to clean, and basically just a general overview of the VERT juicer. So first, let me show you how easy it is to basically take apart, disassemble, and reassemble. So first, we're going to basically take off the top part. And this is the top part that comes off really easily. The next part that comes out of the juicer is the auger. It's a GE Ultim auger. It's 8 times harder than other augers on other juicers. And the next part that comes out are 2 parts. You have the juicing screen and the juicing wiping blade system that actually has the silicone wiping blades that'll actually keep the juicing screen clear of debris, so you get a higher yield, and also you make it easier for you to clean. And the final part that will come out is the main juicing body. So to put it back together, you basically just put this on, and it rotates right, locks into place. You'll take the screen and the wiping blade component and put them together, and then you look for the red dot on the top, and you're going to line up the red dot with the red dot on the top of the housing. It's going to lock into place. The next thing you're going to do is take the auger and just stick the auger in there. It's going to lock into place really easy. The final thing is you want to take this main juicing housing top funnel and line up the gray triangle with the red dot on the side so that both these line up, and it just locks into place like that, and you are ready to juice. So today you can see I'm here in my garden and we're going to juice these things. So I'll give you a prize if you guess what these are. Some of you may know, but a lot of you may not. I was actually eating one of these on an airplane once, and the stewardess lady came by and was like, "What are you eating?" And I'm like, "This is a lemon cucumber." And she's like, "I never saw one of those." So these are lemon cucumbers. Here in California, they're a little bit popular sometimes, especially this time of year. If you're a gardener, you definitely want to grow these cucumbers. They're pretty sweet, actually, compared to other cucumbers, and I rarely ever get a bitter one, actually. Really good flavor, and actually I found they're more disease resistant than some of the other varieties. So I'll get the lemon cucumbers longer, have a longer season because it won't be affected by something like white powdery mildew. But that's aside from the point. Let's get back to juicing. Anyways, to juice them, they're excellent, especially when they get up a little bit larger. The seeds usually get bigger, and that's when they're really good to juice. So we're going to do some lemon cucumbers. We have 1 apple for a little bit of sweetness. And let's go back here in my garden, and we're going to grab some kale here. So you know what? There's nothing better than juicing fresh picked kale out of your own garden. And if you're a gardener, you know what I mean. This kale is the best. It's just fresh picked live food for live bodies. Now we want to be eating live foods, and juicing is an excellent way to get more live foods, more live plants into your bodies. Let's bring this back over. So we have some kale leaves here. And now, with the kale, some people might cut off the stalks before they juice them, but you know what? The kale stalks actually have a lot of juice, and actually some of the juice from the kale stalks are actually quite good. And if you're juicing the kale, you won't get all the fiber that's in the stalk, so you'll just get the juice from that. It tastes actually really, really good. So let's go ahead and turn this juicer on. And you can hear the juicer is relatively quiet. It does have a larger feed chute, so on some of these smaller lemon cucumbers, we literally could just cut the lemon cucumber in half and take and just drop it in the machine. And you can see the pulps coming out and the juice coming out on this side. So it's really easy. Just cut these small cucumbers in half and put them in the machine. They're self-feeding. So yum, delicious cucumber juice. So let's go ahead and mix it up now. We're going to juice one of these kale leaves. So the kale leaf, watch it. Look at that juicer, suck that in. Now it helps when you're feeding in the kale if you take it and you roll it up. Like I'm rolling it, like you're rolling a cigar or something else maybe that what you were in college used to roll up. So you're just going to roll it up and then stick it in. and it's going to feed in a lot easier than the whole leaf. Once again, we're going to roll another one up. Stick that in. Now you can see how our pulp is turning green. That's because our the kale juice is finally coming out, and the kale fibers are starting to come out too. And they come out very slowly. This is because, you know, the kale doesn't have a whole lot of fiber. I mean, it's just a single leaf. So this juice is very efficient at extracting the juice from kale. So look, you can see the juice rolling out and the fiber is barely coming out. So I was on a call the other day, and actually I sold one of my customers, you know, this Omega VERT juicer, and he formerly had a Juice Man juicer, and he's like, John, you just saved me so much money. This juicer that you sold me, the Omega VERT, basically I have to buy half as much produce to get the same amount of juice. So he was basically telling me that, you know, the VERT juicer is so much more efficient than his centrifugal ejection style juicer. I saved him money. So the initial investment in the juicer might have cost a little bit more money, but you're going to save money in the long run because the pulp that you're going to get out of this juicer is so dry. The other thing to remember on the Omega VERT juicer, and we'll do this right now for you so you can see it in action. Once you get the pulp out of this juicer, and you can't do this with any juicer, you could take it and literally dump it back in through the juicer. And so we're going to put the pulp back through there, and it'll take the pulp and literally squeeze it out some more and get more liquid out of that. And sometimes when you're feeding the pulp, you want to do that a little bit slowly because it can back up the juicer. So now let's cut this apple up. We're going to cut it into little pieces here and feed that right in the juicer. Really good combination is actually apples, ginger, and lemon. Makes a nice lemonade. So today, once again, we're juicing cucumbers, some kale, and apple in the Omega VERT 330 juicer. So this juicer is very efficient, and that's why this is my favorite juicer. Number one is because it's very efficient, so you're not going to be wasting your produce. And number two, just because, you know, it feeds and things feed so easily into it. It's just so cool. I mean, I love the efficiency aspect. I love that, you know, the larger feed chute, you could feed things into it. I love that you could juice wheatgrass in this juicer. Actually, you know what? I was making a recipe the other day, and it called for mango juice to be used as the sweetener instead of some kind of, you know, processed sugar or something. So I was actually just juicing mango. I basically, you know, with no pit and no skin, ran the mango through here, it juiced it, took the pulp, fed it back through, it got more. I did that about 3 times, and by the time I was done, the mango pulp was so dry and I had a really fine mango juice. You know, I know of no other juicer that could really do that. So green juices are the best juices, you know, in the world, I believe, and you always want to only make maybe 3/4 of your glass with something like, you know, cucumber or celery or maybe carrot, or maybe like lettuce. Like I like to juice romaine lettuce, like the baby heads, the hearts. And then you want to do 1/4 of the glass of greens. If you do too many greens, it can make you sick, especially if you're not used to it. So if you're just starting juicing, maybe even do most of the glass with either, you know, cucumbers, celery, romaine lettuce, or carrot, and even a smaller portion of greens. So greens, I would consider things like kale, collards, chard, spinach, parsley. Those are all yummy, delicious greens that we should be getting more of in our diet. And we all know that most people don't eat enough fruits and vegetables, and that's where juicing is definitely really handy. And that's why I recommend the Omega VERT 330 juicer for all your juicing needs. It's an excellent juicer if you're upgrading or if you're first getting into juicing. It does it all, and you know, it's the best juicer since sliced bread. So this is John Kohler with DiscountJuicers.com, and be sure to visit DiscountJuicers.com/YouTube for special promotional offers for our YouTube visitors.